I still remember the smell before anything else. That sour, greasy stench of old food and soap hit me before the water did, and for half a second my brain couldn't even process what was happening. Then it landed on my chest, warm and filthy, soaking straight through my light-colored shirt, dripping down onto the marble floor beneath my chair. People gasped. Someone laughed. And standing right in front of me, holding an empty bowl like she'd just finished a performance, was my mother-in-law. That was the moment I realized my marriage wasn't ending quietly. It was ending publicly, deliberately, and with maximum humiliation. We were supposed to be having a Sunday brunch. One of those forced family gatherings where everyone pretends they like each other for 2 hours because the food is expensive and the place has a dress code. I was already exhausted before I even walked in. My mom had passed away 5 days earlier. Funeral was the day before. I hadn't slept, barely eaten, and I showed up late, wrinkled shirt, hollow eyes, just trying to get through it. Apparently, that was enough to deserve punishment. My wife Lauren was sitting a few seats away, laughing so hard she had to hold on to the table. Her hand was on the arm of the guy next to her, a guy named Chase, a fitness trainer she'd been seeing behind my back for months. The divorce papers he'd just handed me were still spread out in front of me like props in some sick joke. Everyone at that table knew what was happening. Everyone had been waiting for it. I wiped my face, water dripping from my hair, my collar, my sleeves, and I remember thinking how quiet the room had gone. You could feel the judgment, the curiosity, that subtle thrill people get when someone else's life falls apart in front of them. My mother-in-law leaned in and said low enough for me to hear, but loud enough for others to enjoy, "That's what happens when you forget your place." Lauren laughed again. Not nervous laughter, not uncomfortable laughter. The kind of laughter that says she felt powerful. That one hurt more than the water. "My mom died 4 days ago," I said. I didn't raise my voice. I couldn't. "The funeral was yesterday." Her mother rolled her eyes. "Oh, please. That woman lived like a nobody. Worked small jobs, no ambition. You turned out exactly how she raised you." If she'd known the truth, she would have choked on that sentence. At the time, I didn't know either. All I knew was that my phone kept buzzing in my pocket. Calls I ignored because I didn't have the energy to deal with anything else going wrong. Chase leaned back in his chair, smiling like a man who thought he'd already won. "You know what's funny," he said, tapping the divorce papers. "She gets half of whatever you have. Not much, but hey, fair's fair." Lauren finally looked at me, bored, detached. "I just want this over with. We're moving on. Sign the papers and stop embarrassing yourself." My phone rang again. Her mother sneered. "What is that, another debt collector?" I answered because I needed an escape even if it was temporary. The voice on the other end was calm, professional, almost too calm. She asked if I was sitting down. I wasn't. She said she was calling about my mother's estate. I laughed, actually laughed, because it sounded absurd. My mom lived in a small apartment, paid in cash, worked as an accountant for nonprofits. There was no estate, but the woman on the phone didn't laugh back. She told me not to sign anything, told me to come to her office immediately, told me it was urgent. When I hung up, the table was silent. Lauren's smile faded just a little. Her mother demanded to know what that was about. I said I didn't know because that was the truth. But something had shifted. Some memory surfaced. My mom telling me years ago that money ruins people. That living simply was a choice. I'd never questioned it. I stood up. Water dripped onto the floor. "I'll be back," I said. "You can't just leave." Lauren snapped. I said, and walked out. An hour later, I was sitting in a glass office overlooking the city, staring at documents I didn't understand. The lawyer explained everything slowly, carefully, like she was worried I might shatter. My mother hadn't always lived that life. She'd been born into something enormous. A private technology empire. Old money. Global contracts. She'd walked away decades ago, changed her name, hidden everything. But the trust couldn't be erased. When the lawyer told me the number, I felt dizzy. Not excited, not happy, just overwhelmed. It didn't feel real. It felt like someone had misread a decimal point. Then she handed me a letter, my mom's handwriting. She explained why she'd done it, why she'd raised me without it, why she'd let me struggle, Let me be underestimated. Let me feel what it was like to be treated as disposable. She wrote that she wanted me strong before I ever had power. That money should never be the thing that made people respect me. I cried in that office, quietly. The lawyer gave me time. Then she asked about the divorce papers, told me exactly what would have happened if I'd signed them earlier. Half of everything. Forever. I hadn't signed them. We planned a response. Adultery changed the game. Evidence mattered. So did timing. We drafted a counteroffer. Reasonable. Final. And then 3 hours after I'd walked out soaked and humiliated, I went back. I didn't announce myself. I didn't need to. The room noticed. The suit fit. The confidence wasn't fake. Lauren stared like she was trying to recognize a stranger. Chase laughed, but it was thin, forced. Her mother looked confused. "I'm here about the divorce," I said, calmly sitting down, uninvited. 10 million, or we let a court decide. They laughed. Then I told them who my mother really was, what she'd owned, what I now owned. The laughter died instantly. Lauren dropped her glass. Her mother went pale. Chase didn't say a word. He didn't need to. I told them the offer stood. I told them why it wasn't half. I told them what would happen if we went public. I didn't yell. I didn't insult them. I just told the truth. And that was enough. I stood up, adjusted my jacket, and said something I'd waited years to say. "You decided my worth based on what you thought I had, not who I was. That was your mistake." I walked out again. This time, no one laughed. 2 days later, she signed. Her mother quietly lost positions she cared deeply about. Chase moved away. I didn't feel triumphant. I felt tired, sad, clear. The money didn't fix my grief. It didn't erase what happened. It just changed who suddenly thought I mattered. And that's what I want to ask you. Was this justice or just consequence catching up? Have you ever watched someone underestimate another person because they looked small, broke, powerless? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Argue with me if you want. Tell your story. Because if there's one thing I learned, it's this. You never really know who someone is or what they're capable of until it's too late to take it back.